Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
My name is Eli.
I'm Jaden.
And this is Yahuwah Torah, and this is Youth for Yah.
Alright guys, today we're going over Proverbs 20. We've been in this for 20 weeks now, so this is about 5 months. We're going over Proverbs with you guys. We thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking time out of your day to actually listen to us. And if you're here with us live, thank you very much. Chat with us live. This is a great time to do so. And then Grant, I see that you're already here, so thank you for joining us.
Yeah, if you guys want to join in, just put it down in the comment section below. We'll be responding to them as we see them come in. And if you are here after it has already come and passed and it's no longer live, we'll be responding as soon as we can to your comments. So thank you guys so much for joining in. We are going to begin in Proverbs. And for those that are new to this channel and have never heard of the Bible, the Sefer, it is an app you can get on Android and iOS. So you can download that. We have a link to that in the the community post. I think we have it there. We have that. You can download that in English and Spanish depending on your language. I don't think we have any other languages available, but you guys can download that from there to read out Sefer along with us. We can also read on the NIV and the KJV, and I am reading out of the Hallelujah Scriptures. So Eli, begin us in Proverbs 20.
Proverbs 20, verse 1. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise.
So it says that wine is a mocker and strong drink is raging. So different kinds of alcohol do different kinds of things to you. And when you are a drunk and you drink stuff, you become unwise. You become a fool.
You become a different person that you're not usually when you are sober. And when you live the lifestyle of a drunk, you change. You can make terrible mistakes. You can make mistakes that you don't want to make, and that's why you were not supposed to be a drunkard. That's why you're supposed to stay sober. Even though wine is good for your stomach aches or what the health conditions you have.
Right, it's okay to have a drink, but if you are taking multiple drinks and you're drunk and making terrible decisions, that's something you don't want to do. You don't want to be a drunk. You don't want to be one consuming, become an alcoholic.
You can make decisions off the drunkenness that lose your soul forever.
Verse 2. The fear of a king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provokes him to anger sins against his own soul.
So it can be in real life, but more like nowadays, since we don't really have kings, we have presidents and things of that sort. We have the king, the true king, Yahuwah. If you provoke him, you are going against your own soul. You hate your own life, because if you provoke him, if you take Yahusha and you put him up on the cross and you say the laws are done away with, it doesn't matter what the old covenant was, whatever it is, whatever you call it,
you could be provoking Yahuwah.
Could be provoking Yahuwah.
And Yahuwah might come for your soul, and when judgment day comes, you might lose your soul because you provoked the king. You made the king roar.
Verse 3. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling.
So someone that stops a quarrel, someone that stops a problem, someone that stops a fight is wise. It is an honorable thing. It's an esteemed thing. But people, fools, they burst out. They're quick to anger. They lash out. And that is something everyone has to work on, because everyone has moments where they lash out, where they break out when moments are tense and you break out and you attack someone. But it is esteemed. It is glory to stop a matter, to take a deep breath and deal with the matter calmly.
Verse 4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg in harvest and have nothing.
So the sluggard, if you do not plow in the cold, and when it's snowing, you have a thing called winter wheat, where you go plow your field and you get it ready, and you have it sitting on the ground till spring came, and it would all grow up, and you'd have it by summer. If you don't plow, if you are not willing to work for your food, you're not going to eat. You cannot be sitting down doing nothing. You are not being fruitful, and you're not being multiplying, as the Torah has said, to be fruitful, to multiply. That's what man's original job was to plow the field, is to provide for his family, and that's what we are supposed to do. Is we are supposed to provide for our families. And if you are not going out because of the cold, if you're not going out because you do not want to work, you are going to starve. You're going to go hungry.
Yeah, if you do not do what needs to be done to feed yourself, then in the future you won't have any food at all. And you should be storing up food now, so that you do have food when there is no food. You will have some food to eat.
Verse 5. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. The NIV says, the purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out.
So when you have counsel of the Torah in your heart, it's like a deep water. It's a rushing thing. It's very deep. You can't understand it. But a person of understanding, a person that understands what this instruction means, is going to take it, is going to draw it out, and is going to apply it to their lives. When someone gives them wise counsel, when someone gives them Torah, when someone gives them instructions and teachings that are very valuable, you are going to use it if you are a wise person, if you understand what needs to be done with this wisdom.
Verse 6. Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find?
So most people will say, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm a trustworthy person in this, but there's no one is truly a good person. Everybody has sinned, everyone has fallen short. We've all broken a command. We may do it daily. And if we're not loving our neighbor ourselves, if we argue with someone, we fight with someone that's not loving our neighbor, that is breaking the command. So how can someone find a man that's truly faithful, a truly good person? And as Yehoshua was a truly faithful man, a truly loyal person, someone that was a good person.
Verse 7. The just man walks in his integrity. The children are blessed after him.
So if a just man walks in integrity, he's walking in uprightness. He's walking in the Torah. And it says his children are blessed after him. Because several reasons. Because they would also be following the Torah. If he was a man of the Torah, if the father is a man of the Torah, or a mother of the Torah, they're going to get their children early on in their early stage of life into the Torah, so they do not depart from it when they are older, and they would also get the generational blessings and break the generational curses.
And we can look at that with David. He was very righteous. He was a good person. He did sin. He did end up taking another man's wife, but he was forgiven, and he was mostly righteous in his time. He was following Torah and obeyed Yahuwah. He was considered a man after Yah's own heart. And then you saw that Solomon was completely blessed because of his dad, because of what his dad did. And then we see Solomon, he went astray, and Yahuwah did not curse him because of the blessings that he gave upon him for what David did. And then we see his son Rehoboam got completely cursed because Solomon fell astray, he fell astray, and then generations kept falling astray after him. And so we see the generational curses, we see the generational blessings, and we see what happens when our parents, or you follow it for your children, your children will be blessed. You should be blessed if your parents followed it.
Verse 8. A king that sits in the throne of judgment scatters away all evil with his eyes.
So this would be a righteous king. This would be someone that is righteous, that is Torah, and Yahweh would use this person to get rid of evil. If there was evil in the land, Yahweh would get rid of them. But we don't have that anymore, unfortunately. This was what the ideal king of Israel, the ideal king of the Torah would be, because he would know the Torah. He would know to get rid of the evil when there were wicked people, when there were people that were practicing magic, people that were Gentiles that were leading people astray. He would know to get rid of them. He would drive them out. But we don't have that anymore. We have people that let wickedness flow. Wickedness is everywhere. You look all around you, there's just evil everywhere.
Right, and in most of the world, there is no Torah. The kings, the presidents, they do not have the Torah. They have the devil. They have Hasatan. And so you see that evil lives. And so a righteous king, if we were in Yisrael, a righteous king, if someone would start breaking the Torah, and the king would get rid of them, they would be gone from us. They would not be around there. They would not be lasting around us.
Verse 9. Who can say, I have made my heart clean, and I am pure from my sin?
That's the thing. When you base yourself against the Torah, when you put yourself up against the Torah, you have sinned, you have broken the commands, you are not perfect, you cannot clean yourself from your sin. But we have Yahushua HaMashiach, his son that he sent, through his blood as a sacrifice to us, that we can cleanse ourselves, that we can make ourselves holy, that we can make ourselves better in the eyes of Yahuwah. But that does not give us a card to sin, it does not give us a pass to do as we want.
Right, if you say you can clean your sin, you can't clean your own sin. You have Yehoshua, and now if you take Yehoshua's blood and say, I can do whatever I want, that's sin. Because there is a Torah still, and there is something we should be obeying. We should be obedient to the law. Just because Yehoshua died for our sins doesn't mean there's a law gone. He just gave us a sacrifice. He gave us a chance to have true repentance, true redemption for breaking his Torah, for sinning. And we know what sin is because of the Torah. If you take away the Torah, then if you repent, what are you repenting from? If you even sin anymore, there is such thing considered sin when you are breaking the Torah, if you have no Torah.
Verse 10. Diverse weights and diverse measures, both of them are alike abomination to Yahuwah.
So that's something we have where we see it over and over and over and over in the Torah, and we see it here now where he is repeating the Torah and saying, do not rip people off. Do not have diverse weights and measures. That is an abomination. He knows that Yahuwah said it so many times that it is an abomination, and that you should not be taking people and taking their money out of an unjust way,
Right,
out of an unrighteous way. You shouldn't be ripping them off.
You shouldn't be charging someone $1.50 pounds for a pound of vegetables when it's only a pound. That is stimulus. It's supposed to be, everything's supposed to be just, supposed to be fair. Yahuwah was trying to keep his land holy and fair. It wasn't supposed to be a land where it's like life
land of
fair.
Thieves and scammers. He wanted people that were just, that were trustworthy, that were holy, that were people that were meek and humble. He does not want people that are scamming, that are arrogant,
They're taking advantage of people. the people that are taking advantage of people, that is sin, because you are not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be loving your neighbor, you're supposed to be helping them, you're not supposed to be taking from them and stealing from them or taking a little extra of what you shouldn't be. Only take what is required, do not take more than that.
Verse 11. Even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure and whether it be right.
So it says even a child, you know a child, whether you see someone, excuse me, you see them and you know that they are either good children, you know that they're bad children by what they do, you know what a person is, you know a person is good by their deeds, it says by their actions, and that's where we can base ourselves, is our actions, like Yahusha, are our actions according to the Torah, are we good or are we evil?
Verse 12. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, Yahuwah has made even both of them.
So Yahuwah has made everything. Yahuwah is our creator. And he gives the seeing eye and the hearing ear to the discerning. Those are the discerning ear and the discerning eye. To those who follow his Torah, he has given those to see when someone says there is no Torah. A Christian would say, oh yeah, you're right. But someone who knows the Bible, knows the Torah, they'll be like, that's wrong. And they'll see through the lies. They'll see through the destruction. And they will see that that is wrong. They will have discernment. They will know the truth because Yahuwah has given them. Yahuwah has blessed the people. Yahuwah has blessed those who read his commands, who understand his commands, who follow his commands. They are blessed, and they are blessed with discernment.
Verse 13. Love not sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes, and you shall be satisfied with bread.
So basically it says don't sleep, don't love sleep, because those who love sleep, you sleep too much, you don't work, you don't do that, and so you will have nothing if you do not work. You'll be hungry, you'll go hungry, you have to work to stay alive, and that doesn't matter if you have a job and you're bringing in money for your family, or you're plowing a field and bringing in crops. Somehow you have to put food on your table, and you can't, if you're sleeping more than working, if you're being lazy when you have an opportunity and you are not doing that work, then you are going hungry because of what you have done.
Verse 14. It is not, says the buyer, but when he has gone his way, then he boasts.
So we have someone that has this context here with someone that has a price that's, again, ripping someone off. You have someone that is taking the price down, that is crying about the price, right? When they already had a good deal, and they are still crying that the price is evil, the price is too high, and the person lowers it down, so when he leaves into the market field, then he goes, oh, this is a good price, look how cheap I got this for, and things of that sort. And that's evil in Yahuwah, because he get unjust weights and measures.
Again, ripping people off, taking from them. Someone sells something, and they already put a set price to it, and you go, oh, I can't do that, it's just too much for me, and you say it's so bad of a price, they lower it down for you, and they lose some of that profit they're going to make off of it. And then that's what you're ripping them off. You're taking away what they can to buy more product and bringing that product back.
Verse 15. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel.
So there's this money, there's this riches everywhere. It's everywhere, just like foolishness. And you can be rich, you can be foolish. It's everywhere. But when you have the lips of knowledge, it is a precious jewel. It is a hard thing to find. It's knowledge, lips of knowledge, and the lips of knowledge are those who speak the Torah. Those are those who understand and study the Torah. That is what knowledge is. That is what the wisdom is, and that's what it's so hard to find these days. You will find maybe 1 in 100 people know even what the Torah means.
Verse 16. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge from him for a strange woman. The NIV says, take the garment of one who puts up security for a stranger. Hold it in pledge if it is done for an outsider.
So we have something weird here in the Sefer where it says strange woman, and we can't exactly understand why it says strange woman, because in every other translation there was no thing as strange woman. But it says when you have a garment that is surety for a stranger, it says take his garment when it's a pledge for a stranger. So if someone is holding something of your brother's and it's someone you don't know, you hold his garment to protect your brother's stuff, and he gets his garment back when he returns your brother's stuff, and that's what he wants you to do, because you weren't supposed to give people stuff in a pledge. You weren't supposed to do that unless you can absolutely return it. And back in the Torah, it says when things go wrong, you have to find it out, you have to deal with it, and if it's gone missing, you have to pay a certain amount. And they was just trying to protect your brother's stuff.
Verse 17. Bread of his teeth is sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth shall be filled with gravel.
So there are those who lie, those who deceive, when it's sweet to a man. So if you love, most people, like, when they lie, they feel guilty afterwards, they feel like they've done wrong. But it's people that love lying and love deceit, those people, they will end up with a mouthful of gravel, and that might be them walking on the road and tripping on the ground and eating some dirt. But they will be punished. Yahuwah will punish them for the deceiving. Especially when they love the deceiving. That is something that they will be punished for because they did it on purpose. They did it because they love it. That is just something that you should be punished. You shouldn't be deceiving. Deceiving is a bad thing. Always tell the truth. You shouldn't be trying to deceive someone, trying to cover something up. It doesn't matter what it is. Tell the person and repay it. Figure out what the problem is and try to solve it. But do not deceive them. Do not love that deceit, or you will be eating gravel. in a gravel doesn't taste good.
Verse 18. Every purpose is established by counsel, and with good advice make war.
So it says good counsel, and when you have good counsel, you are going to have counsel of the Torah. You're going to have people that are speaking of the Torah. It says things will be established by those things, and when you have good advice, it will be of the Torah. You can make war, and you will succeed in the wars you fight in. The things you set out to do, you will be successful if you have counsel in the Torah.
Verse 19. He that goes about as a talebearer reveals secrets. Therefore meddle not with him that flatters with his lips. The NIV says, a gossip betrays a confidence, so avoid anyone who talks too much.
So we have people here that are revealing secrets, people that are being evil, that are lying, that are talebearers, that are just telling stories that aren't real. You want to be away with those people. You don't want to be hanging out with people. Then we have one that flatters others who says nice things, but are lying. They're always trying to get better things by just flattering lips or saying nice things. And that's someone you want to be. You don't want to be like trying to get nice things by saying something nice. You want to be nice. You want to always be.
You want to
nice.
be pure of heart. You want to be genuine person. You don't want to be two-sided for wrong reasons. You want to be pure. When you say you give someone nice things and you say nice things to people, you want it to be genuine. You don't want it because you can get something else out of this person.
Verse 20. Whoso curses his father or his mother, his lamp shall he put out in obscure darkness.
So if you curse your mother and father, and again it talks us in the Torah, and you see that Shlomo is repeating the Torah. He has the Torah obviously written down. He knows it, and he says here, if you curse your father and mother, your lamp will be put out, and your lamp put out into eternal darkness is a scary thing. It's a terrible thing. Your parents brought you up. Your parents have raised you, and if you're hearing the Torah, it's probably from them. But if they haven't, you should probably tell them. But you should never curse your parents. You should never do that, or your lamp will be put out. Your life will be put out in darkness.
Verse 21. An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning, but the end thereof shall not be blessed.
So yeah, family is always trying to rush into inheritance. When someone dies and there's a will, people are always trying to rush into it, fight over it, deceive for it. It says it's not going to go well. It's not going to be a blessing if you've taken it deceitfully, if you've taken it hastily. Right, if you've done this and rushed, you're fighting amongst family, you should be splitting it up evenly. You should be splitting it up right. You should be doing what is right. The firstborn gets double portion. It's commanded in the Torah, and then we have the next person down, and then like that. It should be divided up fairly. You shouldn't be divided up and trying to rush for it or fighting over it. It should be separated in love. If someone near you dies, it's your family member. You should be all doing it. You should be being nice to them. For Yahuwah, do it rightly. Don't be fighting the family. That's the last thing that person wants when they leave. Is for their family to be fighting over an inheritance, because that's the last thing that really matters to a person like that. Most is love in the family, keeping the family together. And if you guys are dividing the family over inheritance, that is the last thing that person wanted for you.
Verse 22. Say not, I will recompense evil, but wait on Yahuwah, and he shall save you.
I'm going to read that out of mine. It says, do not say, I repay evil. Wait on Yahuwah, and he saves you. And that is something a lot of people have a hard time with, is trusting in Yah, holding the faith in him, having the faith in him to say, I will let you fight my battles. Because when people are wronged or something happens, they will instantly jump off and they will go at it themselves alone, and it always ends up in a problem. It always ends up worse than it was. But if you let Yahuwah deal with the fight, if you let Yahuwah fight your battle, you will be more blessed. You will have more success when you let Yahuwah fight for you. If you ever looked at how the Israelites always won, when it was 300 men versus 10,000 men, or it was 600,000 men versus 2,000 men, you always seen how Yahuwah has always protected his people, and it will be the same for you. If you are his people, if you are truly walking according to his law, statutes, and commands, he will fight your battles. You just need to have the faith to let him do it.
Verse 23. Diverse weights are an abomination unto Yahuwah, and a false balance is not good.
So here we go again, where we talk about false weights and measures.
Don't rip people
off.
It's
so important that you don't rip someone off. He does not want you to gain money deceitfully. Yah does not want it. Shalom does not want it. He wants honesty. Yahuwah wants people that are honest, that gain their values, that gain their riches by honesty, not by deceiving people, not by cruelty. There is not a place in the kingdom for cruel people that rip people off. There's no place for that. It talks about it, how there's no place for people there.
Verse 24. Man's goings are of Yahuwah. How can a man then understand his own way? The NIV says, a person's steps are directed by Yahuwah. How then can anyone understand their own way?
So basically it says Yahuwah has your path laid out. He knows exactly what's going to happen from your birth to your death. And man does not know his own way. How can man know his own way? He doesn't, because Yahuwah has set it out. You might have something in mind, but Yahuwah has another way. He's on that path. He's setting that way up for you. His plans don't change for you. They're always going to be the same for you. He knows what's going to happen from the day you're born to the day you die, and that path is always going to be that from life to death, and that will be your plan.
Verse 25. It is a snare to the man who devours that which is holy, and after vows to make inquiry. The NIV says, it is a trap to dedicate something rashly, and only later to consider one's vows.
So, like we talked about before, and this is where we do the morning Yahuwah and the Torah commandment series, is where we talk about don't make vows if you cannot complete them. If you're sitting there making a vow and then you think that was probably a bad idea, I probably said it rashly, I probably shouldn't have said that. You always need to think about what you are going to vow. If you're going to set something apart to Yah, if you're going to set yourself apart, whatever it is you're vowing, you have to keep it or your soul is bound according to the Torah. And that's something you don't want, is your soul to be bound. That sounds like a terrible thing, to have your soul bound, like it is stuck, like you've lost your soul because you could not keep a promise you made to Yah.
Verse 26, A wise king scatters the wicked and brings the wheel over them.
So again, we have where a sovereign was supposed to be in the Torah, where this is a righteous sovereign. When he sees evil, he's going to drive them out. He is going to get rid of them, but we don't have righteousness. But Yahuwah, he sees the evil. He will run the wheel over them. He will destroy them. He will drive them out. He's going to mow them over.
Verse 27. The spirit of man is the candle of Yahuwah, searching all the inward parts of the belly.
So the spirit of man is your soul, and your soul is supposed to be pure, and it's supposed to be a light that shines. Your soul is supposed to glow. Your soul is supposed to bring light to this world, and it will search the inmost parts of your body. It will look inside. It will rest your body. It will shine because you have the soul, because you are with Yahuwah. When you are with Yahuwah, He is light. Inside your soul is light from Yahuwah.
Verse 28, Mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upheld by mercy.
So when you have kindness and truth, it watches over a sovereign, a ruler, a head of the house. Yahuwah, kindness and truth rule over them. It watches over them. And when you have kindness, when you have this, it gets rid of wickedness. It supports you. You are supported by kindness. Your heart, when you are kind to people, is always going to come back in blessings, in forms of blessings, whether from other people or from Yahuwah directly. When you are kind, when you are genuinely a good person to people, when you are gracious to people, it is a blessing. That's what's going to support you. That is what's going to give you your esteem.
Verse 29. The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head.
So basically says the glory, that's something that all people want, is to be young. Because when you're young, you're stronger than when you're older. You become sharp, you become older, you become more frail, you become more fragile. You can't do what you used to do when you were young. It says, and the beauty of old men is their gray hair. So when you're older and you have gray hair, it shows you have wisdom, it shows you have knowledge, it shows you have experience, it shows you have a lifetime of things to teach to your generation. And we see a lot of people that are always trying to be younger. They're always doing evil things to get younger. And it doesn't work like they think it does. It's just not going to happen. Yahuwah punishes those who drink the children's blood to get younger, because people will do that. They'll pay very expensive prices to get things to be able to drink children's blood, because that makes them younger. It makes them feel younger. It makes them have a younger body. Some reason drinking the children's blood does that. And that's very evil. It says, do not drink the blood. Do not eat the blood. It's not something we're supposed to do. And when they do it, that is a very evil, wicked thing. And they cannot get younger. And Yahuwah will curse those people.
Verse 30. The blueness of a wound cleanses away evil. So do stripes the inner parts of the belly. The NIV says, blows and wounds scrub away evil, and beatings purge the inmost being.
So talking about blueness, and that's why I think they're talking about black and blueness, bruising. If you as a children need beatings, if you need discipline from your parents, if it is warranted discipline, it's going to get rid of evil. If you are wicked, coming from experience, spankings have always changed ways of us. It always have changed our ways. When we were spanked as children, it always changed our ways. We didn't make that same mistake twice. And it may come to that in your life where you need a beating, where you need to be black and blue. We never ended up black and blue, but if you end up black and blue for whatever reason, by your parents, it was probably deserved. It was probably earned. You probably need your ways changed. You need a coming to Yahuwah moment for you to change your ways from the wickedness. So don't end up there. Just stay on the Torah. Listen to your parents. So that was it. That was all we have for today. We thank you guys all for joining us. Everyone that is here, we thank you for tuning in and listening to our little reading here. We hope to see you guys tomorrow when we have our Yahuwah the Torah Unknown Commandments series. Thank you guys so much again for joining us. We appreciate your time.
And we also have the Telegram group if you guys want to. Link should probably be in the description. It's already in the description?
Yep.
Okay, link is already in the description.
Yeah, so just click that if you have Telegram. If not, you can download it from whatever store you use, like the App Store or Google Play Store. You should download there. Click the link in the description, and you'll be a part. You can join the group, and you can chat with us. We have a few people there from all over the world, different languages, so you can join up there, and we can all talk. We can all try to figure out your language. If you don't speak English, if you do the best you can, or we can try to figure out your language. So yeah, and we also have prayers. If you guys want to have us pray for you guys, just tell us what your problem is. Tell us what's going on, and we will pray for you guys. If you guys don't want to say it directly, just kind of tell us you need prayer for either maybe health, spiritual, something like that. Just kind of give us a little thing so we know what to pray for. All right, everyone. I think that is all we have for today. And
that is it. That is all we have. So we hope to see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's a preparation day. We'll definitely go over what that means tomorrow morning. So you guys all have a good evening or morning, depending on where you are or wherever it is. We hope you are blessed, and we will see you tomorrow.
All right.
Shalom.